My God. My God. Guys, just finished watching the fight. Sebastian Fundora, Keith one time Thurman. Keith one time Thurman got cooked. He got cooked, guys. I'm I'm in disbelief. Some of you guys know who watched my prediction video. I did pick Keith Thurman to win the fight. I think I said eighth round stoppage with a possibly an overhand right. I saw him practicing that overhand right. I knew he probably watched a lot of tape on Brian Mendoza and how he stopped Sebastian Fundora, the only one to be able to stop Fundora. And I thought that Keith Thurman having the higher boxing IQ, uh, having the better footwork, of course, using a lot of lateral movement, I thought he would be able to counter his way to beating Sebastian Fundora. And I thought the speed was going to be there. But man, Fundora, hats off to Fundora, man. He's what, 24 and 1 now, defeating Keith Thurman. TKO win in the sixth round. The referee actually stopped the fight, and he beat the brakes off of Keith Thurman, guys. He has definitely become a better fighter. And I talked about this. I said that, he's a fighter who learned from his mistakes, from getting knocked out by Brian Mendoza, fighting on the inside, not fighting his height. And now, he has an 80-inch arm reach. You guys know that. He's 6'6", and he's using his jab very effectively. He won this fight with a superior jab, in my opinion. Keith Thurman, he could not get in on the inside on Sebastian Fundora, no matter what he did. He used a lot of lateral movement. He would jump in and out at times, but he couldn't do anything. He was pretty much neutralized in the fight. And when he did, he'd jump in, he'd lunge in, and he was throwing wild punches, and he would get caught with a straight left hand. Round one, right out the gate, caught with a nasty straight left hand. And then he almost got dropped, I think, in the second round with a left hand. And he just had nothing for Sebastian Fundora. Nothing. And I knew that Sebastian was going to be hard to beat. I said it in my prediction video that he's not going to be an easy win. I thought that this was going to be the toughest fight for Keith one time Thurman, and it was. He took a shellacking in this fight tonight, and I was just surprised by it. How bad a punishment that he took tonight. And I got it wrong, guys. I got this one absolutely wrong. I thought that the experience, the high boxing IQ, the athleticism, the punching power would lead Keith Thurman to victory, even though he's been sitting on the shelf. But he only had one loss. He hasn't taken a lot of punishment, but I underestimated what Sebastian Fundora brought to the table in a sense. Even though I knew what he brings to the table, I was just thinking that Keith Thurman, being the crafty veteran, would rise to the occasion. But Sebastian Fundora has put everyone on notice at 154 pounds. That kid's going to be hard to beat, man. And I think, he's the boogeyman of the 154-pound division right now. And there's a lot of great fights for him to a lot of great fighters for him to mix it up at 154. Guys like Josh Kelly, Boots, the return of Errol Spence Jr., he's coming back. Who else we got? Virgil Ortiz, Jermell, Lions Only Charlo. You guys know he's never really lost his belts at 154 pounds. And, he's called out Sebastian Fundora. There's a lot of great fights. Xander Zayas, I don't know if I mentioned him or not. And, yeah, man, Sebastian Fundora, he's the real deal. And now that he fights his height, he knows how to use that jab, he's even more menacing. Because even if you do get on the inside, you guys know he already has a good inside game. And now he fights well on the outside, and he has a chin on him, and, he's just big and awkward. And it's going to take a hell of a fighter to beat this guy. you guys let him get good. You guys let him get good. He's just going to get better over time. And now he has, you know, a guy like Keith Thurman. You know, he just beat the brakes off of Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was a 2-belt champion at 147 pounds. You know, he was that guy, and he just made him look like nothing in this fight tonight. But anyway, we'll see what happens with Keith. I think this may be it for him. I don't know. He may retire after this. I think, you know, after a beating like that, you know, Keith Thurman has a good mouth on him. Maybe he should do commentary or something like that. I just don't see him doing a whole lot at 154 after that beating. But you guys let me know what you think about the fight tonight. Sebastian Fundora on point with the jab, the combination punching, just making Keith Thurman pay, man. Every time Keith lunged in and was throwing those wild hooks and just being off balance, it was hard for me to watch, guys, you know, because I had so much respect for Keith Thurman. But you guys let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.